So, but is there any more thing we can do in future so that?
Actually, that will be taking place in the fall when we do the budget deliberations. And snow removal is definitely on that agenda, and it'll be compared as to what level of service do residents want and need. And we need to balance that as to, for every $100,000, your tax rate, or our tax rate, will go up 1%. Mm-hmm. We're very, very conscious of that, but we're going back to the level of service.
Private contractors, if you could comment on that, I guess, would that be, is that, because that's like sort of, I'm not sure if it is in the budget or is it something that as needed, you pull in maybe 2 or 3 trucks and then clear
Unfortunately, when it snows, it doesn't just snow in Chestermere. So if you're looking for a private contractor, typically you have a difficult time. We have looked at it in the past, but what we run into difficulty with is that everybody is grappling with the same problem at the same time. And we're very cognizant on council of not spending money for trucks that end up sitting in a public works yard and not being used. They're expensive to buy and they're expensive to maintain.
Yeah, it's similar to the way you take AMA membership for the towing services, but then when there's bad weather, even they take 24 hours.
Absolutely.
There's one extra fees on the, I remember.
Yeah, that's another question from our listeners.
Yeah. They wanted to ask about this extra, I don't know, $50, $100 or some fees that's on top of
$150 yearly fees, and some people say they don't even know that, and then, when they forget, and then there's, it's apart from the, property tax, it's something else, which is, and what is that fee?
It's likely what I believe you're referring to is the Western Irrigation District fee.
That's right.
And we all pay into that in order to have the lake maintained at the level that it is, and to avoid having it flood. So when Chestermere was first created, because it is a man-made creation that was based in a natural slough or a natural lowland area, Chestermere Lake is actually a reservoir for the Western Irrigation District. So farmers pull out of that lake to irrigate their lands. Mm-hmm. And the Western Irrigation District charges us as a town to maintain and operate the level of that lake every year in the summertime. So we all pay that fee into that. It allows us to go out and use our boats or our canoes, or go out and take our kids to the park and have a picnic and swim in the lake. So it's a usable so that the lake is a usable depth for recreation.
Okay, because we wondered that, why is it not included in the property taxes, and also, why can't it be part of the installment? It's like sort of, you have to mail it somewhere. At the end of the year, everybody forgets, and then, you suddenly realize that, it's not paid.
It's not part of the property taxes because you have very specific things that you can charge under property taxes. They have to be directly related to the property, and property taxes are based on a mill rate, which I'm sure will be fascinating to everyone listening if I got into the details of that. But the short answer is that we pay a set fee for that Western Irrigation District access that's divided up amongst all of our households.
So what are we planning to do, for the crime to maybe stop it or decrease it?
Actually, the detachment commander in Chestermere is very proactive. They have officers in the schools and working with different community members.
I guess do we need to increase the police, or how can we keep a check on that?
Actually, they're at complementary staff at the moment. We have 16 officers now, and we have a community peace officer program through the town with 1 staff person, and we're looking at budget time again this fall to up the staffing for that department. Keep in mind, too, in the past, because we had such intense growth, Chestermere grew 35% year after year from 2002 to 2007. When I moved into Chestermere with my family in 1999, we moved into a town of 2,300 people. A very short time later, we're at 14,000. But it took us a while to get up to our full complement of RCMP officers because the RCMP also had a crunch problem with getting enough employees. We did have difficulty in the past with some gang-related issues. I'm sure you all remember that.
Yep.
And with the threat of higher crime, and that has all but gone away at this point with the full complement of RCMP that we have in place. And I think we're at the perfect number right now to continue on for the next little while in the future and be able to combat that kind of thing.
Good. So is as the council, like, how would do you guys want to the coming summer or the coming next boom time supposedly, do you want to actually let the town grow as as it does, or do you want to cap it so that there is not new land taken in to actually grow beyond means?
I don't feel that a municipality can actually cap the population. They've tried that in Okotoks, and the only reason that they can do that is because of water supply. If there is land to be annexed, I think what we look at from the planning perspective is controlled growth. But it's very, very difficult to actually put a cap on. And when you put a cap on, then you would lose some of your commercial coming in too. And we need that. We definitely need the commercial to keep the residential tax base reasonable.
You mentioned commercial. Is there any plans of indoor malls in the town?
Would be nice.
Would be nice.
We have an entire area that is slated over by the water slides on the Trans-Canada. That entire area in there, with one chunk that's slated for residential, is zoned for commercial and light industrial. So going forward, that will be where you see some of the bigger places, not Walmart big, but some of the larger places like Home Hardware, that kind of thing, would take place in that area. So there is plans for that growth in place, and as I said before, commercial does take precedent over residential at this point in time, until we get a larger commercial base for taxes.